I want to welcome you to the Grow Your T-Shirt Business in the next 6 months session that we're going to have here today. And this virtual webinar is just part of our series that we do every single month, most of the time, 2 times a month, that we do here at Transfer Express. And all of these sessions are built to help grow your business. This one specifically, we're covering a whole bunch of techniques that you could utilize, actionables that you could take away from this and be able to see a positive impact in your business in 2025. So let's jump right on in. And as we jump on in, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dave. I've been decorating apparel for the last 15 years, from learning how to screen print on my kitchen table to the coming up, I think, 5 years here with stalls, with heat printing and Transfer Express. I will say, from learning how to screen print the hard way, which I say the hard way, still love the process, right? It's the art of it. However, when I want to be efficient and I want to make money, I am using goof-proof screen printed transfers 99% of the time here, right? And direct-to-film transfers. Don't get me wrong. Ultracolor Max, absolutely phenomenal. But it is just so much more efficient, and I'm looking for profit. I'm looking to maximize my time and maximize the ROI on my time. And heat transfers are absolutely the way to do that. Of course, when we see selling online, which is something we're going to talk about here today, it makes it really accessible to do those low quantities or those minimal pieces. You don't have to do the bulk runs that you used to have to do, the 24, 48 pieces with that huge upfront investment. You don't have to do that anymore, right? So being part of being successful is being lean, right? Spending money wisely, reducing your costs so you can maximize that profit margin. So some of the stuff we're going to talk about here today is going to involve that. A lot of it's going to be opportunities and strategies that you could use to get more work for your custom decorating business. Even if you are running a brand, right? I talked to so many new decorators that maybe got into custom decorating, started doing their own brand, trying to maximize that profit. And more power to you, right? But if you're just starting out with your clothing brand and looking for ideas, you're in the right spot too, right? We are focused a lot on the custom decorating aspect of it, but we're going to cover so much that you're going to pull away if you just walk away from the next hour and a half with one actionable item that you could take and apply to your business, it's a success, right? So I applaud you guys for hanging out and learning more about your business. Even if you're watching the replay of this and you're just researching ways to grow your business, I'm so happy you found us, and I'm so happy to be a part of your journey and help you out in any way I can. I do want to shout out Mike in the chat section as well, who's going to be answering all of the questions to be able to help you out if I'm staying focused on the material here at hand. I'm going to try to glance at that. And if you are watching this on a replay, I do want to say comment any questions that you have. We're very responsive. We want to help your business grow. So what we're going to be covering here today, number one, is just some basics that you could apply throughout the entire year. And it's going to be maybe some of the stuff you might already be doing, which is fantastic. Some of it might inspire new ideas for you to help go get new markets, right? Maybe be more relevant with your target audience. All the kind of goals and missions that we see that drive success for apparel decorators we'll be talking about here today, from even profitability, right? And being more efficient with your decorating, kind of like we just talked about with utilizing your heat press, keeping your costs low, and maximizing your profit and your time, right? But we're going to talk about those growth basics. We're then going to jump into a full kind of half year of a calendar of what you could start planning for. Planning ahead and executing a plan is the best way as a business owner that you could stay on top of things, stay organized, and always be taking those small steps towards growth. If you are just starting your business, or maybe you've been that hobby that you're really looking to take full time, it was that side hustle that you want to turn into your main gig, and that is absolutely wonderful. But one thing you need to focus on is the profitability and the efficiency, maximizing your time and being organized, right? I want to be here to help you with that success. Now, of course, we're going to talk about creating artwork a little bit too. We'll jump into the EasyView Online Designer. And if you haven't tried out EasyView Online Designer, whether you could draw a stick figure or not, you are able to create custom t-shirt artwork that people are going to want to wear, right? So I want to get you set up for success regardless of your skill level with Photoshop or Illustrator, right? More than just t-shirts is going to be the last thing that we're going to cover here today to showcase all of the different items that you could put under the heat press, truly diversifying your product offering and essentially providing solutions that you can give to just about any market vertical or any target audience. Any one of your customers are going to be able to provide more than just t-shirts, and those become opportunities to really build your business, right? And as we're building your business, you're taking each little one of these small steps, right? And of course, when you look at the top of the mountain, you go, wow, that's really far away. I don't think I could ever get there, right? But when you start taking each little individual step, right? By the time that we are 6 months in and you've executed kind of some of the plans that we've put together here, you're going to look back down and realize how high up that mountain you are, right? So that's one of the things that I talk to a lot of business owners who have been, a business owner for 20 years, and they're like, you have to stay determined through those times when you want to give up on yourself, right? Because the best fruits of your labor are on the other side of that, right? I'm sure there's a better way that you could put that. And if somebody has a better way of putting that, please let me know over in the chat section right there, right? So I see right here, John says, my students want to grow their business by having other students design their shirts in Canva and upload those images to Transfer Express, printing those, selling shirts. Right now, they get stuck with stalls requiring the extra $26 art fee. How can clients design on Canva and then transfer those into Transfer Express program to print? So it looks like Mike just answered that with vector artwork. Of course, with like Canva, you could actually export high resolution artwork, or you could just use the EasyView Online Designer because it has a lot of those same tools and trending artwork in there that you don't have to pay that $26 artwork fee, or even using the image editor. If we have time at the end, I'd love to jump into that, but we've got a lot to cover going right in. Keep those questions going as we go. I do see Brandon asking this one just because I'm going to see this one right here. Will you share the best price breaks for each transfer? I thought Goofproof only made sense for quantities over 24. So we do have a what to use when transfer chart that essentially blocks it out between different transfer types. And I've used Goofproof for sometimes as low as 6 or 12 pieces. It all depends on the colors and the design. Of course, you're going to be using a single color file there. And what the customer wants. A lot of times they'll bring you a screen printed shirt and want you to match it exactly, right? And so you want to provide that real plastisol ink. So you're going to opt for the Goofproof, but price accordingly, right? You always need to be pricing accordingly. We don't have too much pricing talk built into here, but definitely go on over to transferexpress.com. In the help center, you'll see what transfer type should I use, and there'll be a what to use when chart. And Mike might even be able to link that what to use when chart right in here, and we'll link it in the description down below as well. But let's jump in talking about how to grow your business in the next 6 months, right? So here are some kind of high-level tips that you could apply to your own business. Of course, if you're just getting started or you're really looking to take that hobby where you've been dealing with maybe some friends and some family full-time, the number one thing is identify a target audience or a niche or some market and absolutely own it, right? Because that's going to help you stand out amongst anybody. If you are the go-to printer for libraries or community services, right? You kind of loop them together. You number one, live in the community. So you know, right? You are already a member. So you're focusing on what you already know, right? Say you're a bookworm and you absolutely love when libraries have those totes. So you could show off the library, show off the community, as well as tote around the books, right? This is stuff that you could start to suggest. These are the samples that you're going to create or mock up and show on social media so people know what your services are, right? If you're not telling people or showing people what you could do here with the apparel decorating community, it is highly visual, right? So showing photos or mock-ups is a great way to sell your services by showing what you do. Otherwise, people aren't going to know what you do, right? I love the creative names that have some businesses, but if it's not like, Dave's Print and Design or whatever, right? Like people don't even that, right? Like Dave's Print and Design. Okay, I know that they print, but do they do custom apparel? Could I do tote bags, right? You want to showcase those capabilities, but focusing on what you know. Say, if I go to the gym all the time, obviously I don't, right? But if I went to the gym all the time, I would, want that athletic wear, the dry fit, their performance wear stuff, all of the above, down from socks to gym bags, right? You could already leverage all of that knowledge that you already have being part of that interest or niche, right? And then that's how you find your audience, right? Likely they may already be your audience. They might be your friends. They might be your colleagues. They might be your tribe, right? So like you already know, and that's going to be the easiest way to relate with them, right? So you could focus on hobbies or causes, right? Whether it be that local community or any hobby of what you're doing, whether it be books or chess club or entrepreneurship programs, whatever it may be, right? Sports, spirit wear, local communities are always these huge markets. Now, granted, when they are huge markets, they could be a little bit more crowded. And so you will have competition, but that's how you're going to have to have your business stand out, right? By suggesting the right products. Oh, hey, yeah, those t-shirts, wouldn't tote bags be great for that farmer's market too? They would be a low cost item that you would be able to sell to all attendees. And when you're talking to the event organizer, and it positions you as a pro right away, right? Even if you don't have all of those years of experience, but you need to be able to have those examples and samples that you're going to bring and be able to showcase those things. Now, of course, memorable branding, memorable logos stand out. And you need to have something that communicates what you do, right? You're going to most likely, if you're not even going to be opening your own website at first, and I would highly recommend a website, start putting that social media presence together, right? So you're going to get the Facebook page, the Instagram page, right? Maybe even a TikTok. I know creating reels and short form video is intimidating for a lot of people, but simplifying it and batch creating things to be able to post, really reduces the amount of time that you have to invest into creating. You want to be a business owner. You want to be an apparel decorator. And so your time is going to be spent, designing or invoicing. Of course, a few little financial tracking. That's my least favorite part. I love creating. I love printing things. I love bringing customers' ideas to life. I love seeing it out in the wild. I love seeing the effect that custom apparel has on people, right? When it unites a team or a company or a family or whatever it might be, right? I identify with this sports team and I want to show my fandom. It becomes so much more than just something we're wearing, right? Of course, the artist in me always looks at t-shirts as the number one collected art medium on this planet, right? So that's just cool in its own right. Not everybody collects paintings, but every single person I know has a printed t-shirt in their closet that they wear, right? So whether it's just a funny joke or a pop culture movement or supporting a political candidate, right? We wear our hearts on our sleeves. And by hearts on sleeves, I mean we wear our hearts on our t-shirts, right? So focus on the niches that you know, and you are going to have absolutely no problem finding customers with that, right? Now, with that branding, of course, one of the biggest opportunities for apparel decorators to grow their business is printing the inside label on the inside of their shirt, just like we see here on this t-shirt right here, right? Now, this one's just Walker and kind of relates to the family here for that nice retail ready look. But I always do it when we are printing for 5Ks, farmers markets, art festivals, any of those larger events, right? Where now your branding is on the inside of the shirt. And here in the United States, I like to say on average, about once every 3 years, everybody has a need for custom t-shirts, whether it be that family reunion, whether it be the new employee uniforms, whether it be that special game that everybody's going to and wants to wear the matching shirts, or the family trip or the vacation, right? I make matching shirts for everybody who goes on vacation with us every year, just as a fun kind of joke gift, but then everybody always loves them, and we make sure we take all the photos and everything, and we have them hanging up on our wall then, right, for the rest of time. So you're always going to have a need, and having somebody own one of your products, even if they bought it through an event, right? They signed up for the 5K, but you were able to provide the shirts for the 5K. Now, every time they reach for that t-shirt, and when they have that need, hey, I'm going to need to buy t-shirts for whatever's coming up, they look and see your branding on the inside tag, right? With direct to film, you could even put a QR code that links directly to your website, right? So there are legal things that you have to include on that inside tag, especially if you're removing the label, because you do need to include size, the garment makeup, the care instructions. We actually legally don't need to have the size in there because it's kind of made up and they differ. I don't know if you've ever bought like your size shirt that's like, this doesn't fit me, right? So that's not standardized, but the name of how they could get you or where the government could find you, essentially. So the name of the business or an RN number also suffices with that. And the country of manufacture, so where the garment was manufactured, are the main things you need on an inside tag. But put your website on there, right? Put your services, put your logo on there, right? So that's kind of, I know it's intimidating for a lot of people starting up, but building that brand and that brand awareness, brand recognition, because when you watermark every single one of your posts, people are going to see it more and more often, and it's going to become memorable. So they just automatically think, oh, Dave's Tees, right? And we're going to see an example of that coming up as we go through some of these markets. So keep an eye out for that too. Now, of course, another way to stand out is with packaging, another kind of extension of branding, especially if you're selling online or say selling those group orders to those community libraries or schools, right? Where you're essentially going to deliver a whole bunch of apparel and then people are going to take it and go elsewhere. Now, some customers don't want anybody to know where their stuff was printed, and that's perfectly fine. You're not going to be printing an inside tag on that, right? I've pitched it as discounts before. I've talked to other decorators who took it as like a sponsorship, right? They were working with a local farmer's market and said, hey, we'll knock off, 25% off these t-shirts if we could put our logo on the inside, right? And maybe there's other paying sponsors on the back of the shirt, and on the inside of the shirt, they're like, yeah, who cares? But you're marketing to the wearer of that shirt, right? Now with the packaging, you're kind of doing the same thing, whether it be hang tags or if you're selling online, some branded poly mailers. So when it shows up, it creates this experience, right? I want your business to be memorable. I want people to have a positive experience because that's how you're going to take, number one, just customers and build a relationship with them and make it an experience so they turn into clients, right? They are returning to you. A client doesn't look online every single time and price out custom ink. Hey, how much do custom t-shirts cost? No, they come to you because they rely on you for a resource and you provide value to your services, whether it's with those recommendations or with that experience, right? It is so much easier to grow your business by not having to go out and market to every brand new customer, right? If you could super impress the customers that you have, number one, they're coming back. And that is the easiest way to grow a business. Number two, they are going to love the experience with you so much that they're going to tell everybody else they know, right? So when you print for that one landscaper and he's talking to his buddy or they're eating at Wendy's or whatever, right? And hey, who printed those shirts for you guys? Love those. Those look great, right? Who did those for you? They're going to willingly recommend you, right? And so then when that marketing becomes that grassroots, your customers are essentially they're your marketing department, right? That is the best case scenario because that requires zero of your time, zero of your effort, and zero of any monetary spend. You don't have to pay for ads, right? So that's what you want to focus on. And that's really going to build this core, stable foundation to really grow your business on, right? So you're not having to chase down a whole bunch of new customers all the time. My number one tip for selling to, especially if you're just getting started, is samples, right? So have a kind of traveling kit or photos, at least, of what you can do. Now, the Transfer Express Marketing Kit is a great way to get samples in your hands. It has all of the different transfer types, and you could be confident in your decorating ability because they come with full-size transfers, right? But that also comes with what we call the idea book, right? So it couples all of this artwork together that allows you to essentially, it's your marketing department, right? And Mike could put a link into the marketing kit because if you got to run, I don't want you to miss out on this special that we have. But the marketing kit's regularly $55, comes with a color selector swatch book, right? So even showing you all of these ink colors, right? Of the real screen printed ink colors is that you do have, Somebody wants to match that blue exactly. You could show them an example here. You're building samples. You're bringing their idea to life, right? This color selector swatch book is $20 by itself. It's 102 physical screen printing screens that it takes to create this. This is real ink printed on a Pellon fabric, right? And then just bound together, even like the neons. And there's some metallics in here as well. This is $20 by itself. So for $5 extra, you get a whole bunch of stuff. I even want to pull down our marketing or idea book here, right? So being able to build value in your services is what I'm talking about. Because when you could bring the artwork to the table, that's a lot of stuff that every other printer out there is not going to be able to do, right? So when you go to Custom Ink, if you don't have a file to upload, sure, they have a builder on there, but is that going to be a design that people are actually going to want to wear? No, right? And I will say too, having gone to design school, I got into the printing industry because of design and artwork, right? That a lot of people are like, I don't really know what I want. I'll know it when I see it, right? Well, graphic design is not Netflix. It's going to take me a couple hours to be able to put some comps together, to even show you some drafts that you might be like, yeah, I like that one. Let's develop it further, right? And so my time is money. As a business owner, I have to be monetizing my time. So in that case, they want a couple shirts, right? Let's just say 12 shirts. And then you're going to have to charge them at least $100 to start designs going on it, right? That's cost prohibitive. That's almost as much as those 12 shirts are going to cost, right? Especially if it's just a single, simple, one color artwork, right? On just some basic t-shirts. You're doubling the cost, right? So you do all your designs, you send them an email, and they go, actually, I was thinking kind of something more like this. And then they send you a screenshot from Pinterest, right? Which would have been great to have at the beginning, but now you just wasted a whole bunch of time. You possibly charged your customer too much money, which isn't a great experience, right? So this idea book here and Transfer Express with the EasyView Online Designer really does make graphic design more like Netflix. So you could go in here if you're sitting down with your customer, or you could send them a digital version of this as well. And this is all completely unbranded. So you'd have your own business name here. They don't know that Transfer Express exists. And if you go to easyprints.com right here, it's just an online version of this book. So they could go through here and see all of these different t-shirt designs, right? And a lot of the t-shirt designs that we're going to be showing you here today were all created in the EasyView Online Designer. So like, hey, I'm looking for something with like a farm. We're doing a farmer's market. You could take this layout right here. Excuse me, I need to get some more of that coffee. This farm layout right here, and be able to just customize it for them. That takes minutes, right? We'll go through the entire process here and show you just how easy it is. But essentially, you have this for almost any market, from just basic kind of generic ones to school. You see them all color coded right here at the side. And then this is a binder too. So if you're going to pitch to a school, you don't have to show them the vacation layouts. You could just keep school and sports in here, right? So it helps them find what they need a lot quicker, maximizing your time, giving them a great experience, and then giving them a custom product at the end of the day, right? This is your Canva scroll and look and scroll and scroll, but all of this artwork is print ready right out of the bat, right? You could format this for any transfer type, save it for later, and even mock it up all in one program that's completely free. All you need is a Transfer Express account. But this book is part of that kit that includes the full-size transfers, a tote bag, a t-shirt, and of course, that color selector swatch book, and $10 off. So if you have $25, right, you have a $25 expense into this, and then you're spending $10 extra on top of that, right? Or you're getting $10 back on top of that. And that color selector swatch book, that's how I don't know how we're going to make money on this special. But that marketing kit is absolutely incredible value. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but I just wanted to kind of break here and talk about it, because we talk about selling with samples. Showing your customers a real printed sample really builds trust. So essentially, in this this way that we are building trust with our customers, especially in the custom decorating world, they have an idea and they're trusting us to bring it to life, right? We want to faithfully recreate that vision for them, right? And in many cases, we're going to get paid up front. I always encourage you to get paid up front, because you have to invest money into supplies, time, materials. So you want to ensure that you aren't taking a financial risk. I've been ripped off by even some of my best friends, right? That on the way to go deliver them, they give me a call. Hey, yeah, we actually don't need those shirts anymore. Okay, well, I have 200 of them in my back seat and I'm on my way to you right now. So no, I'm going to bring them. You're going to pay me, right? I don't want you to be in those situations, right? And so asking for money up front is very, very common in this industry, and being able to protect you, right? So, but you're going to ask them for money up front. They need to trust you that you're going to bring their idea to life with the quality that they expect, right? You don't want any surprises. Oh man, that shirt is way smaller than, or that design's way smaller than I thought it was going to be, right? So I'll show you how to do that with the mock-ups anyway. But that's a lot more of building value in your services. And we're just going to keep rolling on here with some more growth basics for you. So I talked about social media a little bit already, right? And this is one thing to really keep in mind, right? Focusing on where your audience is. Say if your target demographic is a little bit younger, they're probably going to be on TikTok, right? So it's very easy to research where your target demographic or maybe where the community is, right? I know Facebook is really great for a lot of groups, right? But you might not be able to market directly into there, but join those groups. If you're not already if it's your own interest and you're trying to get into that market, right? Join those community groups. Start talking about things, right? And being a member of that community, because then it could come very organically instead of you just kind of spam posting your offer that nobody wants to see, right? But if your audience is on Facebook, right? Focus on Facebook as your primary, right? If you are doing a brand and being a little bit more visual, and that Instagram's probably going to be the best for you, right? So I don't know exactly what your target audience is, but with just a couple minutes of research, you're probably going to be able to find where your core audience is. And it's okay to do it across all platforms, right? It just could get overwhelming very quickly, and not the same audience is on each individual platform. So that's one thing definitely to keep in mind. Now, of course, you could use influencers or prominent members of any community as an influencer, right? And I'm not saying send your shirts to LeBron James and hope he wears them. No, that's probably not going to happen, right? I'd love if LeBron James wore my shirt, but it's probably not going to happen. Start with the micro influencers, right? The local influencers. Maybe if there's you're going for that local restaurants, right? Talk to somebody who's in the runs a little food blog or something, right? Or does those Instagram videos, right? So then you could provide maybe some samples of apparel to them and have them start talking about you when you go to these other events. And those could be the limited expense. Because if you want to go buy a influencer on social media, number one, you want to make sure that they are already interacting with your target audience, or the audience that you aim to kind of acquire or diversify into, right? So you don't want to necessarily just be focused solely on, somebody who's like LeBron James, wide open out there, if to get a sponsored post with him is probably $500,000 or something, right? So definitely you're not going to need that, right? You're going to have success just with the local influencers or prominent thought leaders, the voices in your industry or niche here, right? Of course, we want to use high quality images. The best thing is that you have a phone in your pocket that could take absolutely stellar images, right? So you don't want to be doing super low res screenshots, or sometimes those super low res screenshots from Canva and posting them on social media. The algorithm, right? Every single platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, knows the resolution of an image when you upload it, and it chooses not to show it to people when it's low resolution, right? I want your reach to be as wide as it can be. I want you to be in everybody's feed, and having high quality content is key. When you're recording video with your phone, you want to shoot at the highest settings, right? A lot of things are now vertical format, right? So shoot in vertical format video so that it gets to your audience, right? Include those relevant hashtags, and even though that's changing, right? So there are ways that you could put specific keywords and be conversational and get that engagement, right? That kind of really broadens your brand awareness. So the kind of here's two versions of a shirt. Which one do you like better, right? And people are more than happy to comment and be like, that one on the left, it was rad. Where could I buy it? Or whatever it is, right? So that extra engagement, those comments, right? The people interacting with your post, whether it's just a smashing that like button, right? Whatever they're doing is going to help grow your awareness on whatever platform that you choose. Now, one thing is posting regularly, almost on a schedule, right? This is another thing, like you're taking steps up the mountain. You're not going to go viral in your first post, right? You're probably not going viral in your first 100 posts. But when you make your 100th post on social media and you look back at your first post, you're going to go, wow, I've really learned a lot and I've come a long way, right? There's a YouTuber, Mr. Beast. He's like the largest YouTuber on the planet, right? And he was never trying to make great videos, right? He's not trying to go viral. He was just trying to make every single video better than the last. So if that's one goal that you could bring to your content, is just every post, I want to improve upon my last post. In 6 months from now, wow, your posts are going to be absolutely phenomenal from where you started, right? And you're going to see that impact. But it's one of those things that it's just, you have to be kind of disciplined to have success on social media with that posting regularly, whether it's, if you start with once a week, then go to twice a week, 3 times a week, and then see if you could maintain that, right? One of my favorite things to do is like batch everything in one day. So maybe you take a couple hours out of every Friday morning to create photographs. Let me photograph some samples of what I created this week. Maybe take a couple videos explaining my services or like walking somebody through your process, right? That is huge in social media right now, is just showcasing what you do. We are humanizing in this world that's exploding with AI. We are really humanizing our services, and people want to work with other real people, right? And especially if you're in that local community, they should see you, right? You should be that voice of, I'm here to uplift my community, right? I'm here to contribute. I'm here to add value, right? And you could add value with that with just social media here. But those are some tips right there, ready to go on social media. But of course, another great way to kind of stand out from a lot of other apparel decorators out there or offer something different in the niche is with the customization and personalization. Of course, right here, this looks like athletic jerseys, right? There's not a lot of companies out there that will do minimal pieces in one-offs or customization or personalization. It's really easy with the EasyView Online Designer and the team builder functionality in there to essentially just upload a full team of names and numbers, and it's going to format everything for you with the right matching name, with the right numbers. So it simplifies everything. So you reduce those misprints. Your organization is just automated essentially, right? You're not sorting through things and taking a whole bunch of time ensuring it's correct before you start misprinting garments. I've been there. Okay. I'll admit it. I've made a lot of mistakes that I like sharing with you, so I don't have to have those same mistakes, right? So, of course, adding names and numbers, but I like to add dates to any like event shirt that you're doing, right? Put a date on it, because next year they're probably going to need more shirts and they're not going to be able to use the same shirts. So they're coming back to you to order more, right? So adding those dates for those events or occasions is great as well. People love the t-shirts as like a collectible memento, right? A memory of an occasion or an event or an experience, right? So having that kind of keepsake with a year on it too feels natural for whoever's at the end user buying that product. Now, of course, the limited time offers, the fundraisers, the pop-up stores, right? Even if they're online, doesn't have to be like a real, you pop up a tent on the sidewalk. You could set up pop-up stores very easily online using software like Fulfill Engine or even like Shopify, right? Or any of those Wix stores, the Squarespace, anything else like that, right? So you could do a whole bunch of stuff with just the tools at home in this internet age that we live in. But of course, if your target market is the local audience, they're probably less likely to buy a local shirt online, because there's a lot of people on Etsy who are like, oh yeah, I'm selling these California shirts or, whatever city shirts, right? Here's, vacation in the Outer Banks. And they're not actually there selling them, right? They want to support their own community. They want to know who they're supporting. So that's something where like, if that is your target audience, you want to be there for your audience and they're going to buy in person, right? So that's one way definitely to look at that. So let's go ahead and keep on rolling here before we've got a couple more tips, and then we're going to get into kind of our t-shirt printing calendar with a whole bunch of ideas that you could start to bookmark right throughout the entire year to stay one step ahead, because you want to be advertising, right? So of course, Your website and user experience is absolutely key in this digital age. So even if you are selling that local event, right, you need some social proof. So they're probably going to look you up on social media, right? It's great to have that social media following, because then you could market to your audience very, very easily and free, right? So they could follow you on social media. I always recommend maintaining an email list too, just in case, like, there's so many people who have invested into certain platforms, right? Like if I would have invested all my business into MySpace back in the day, right, and had all of my customers there, and that's the only place where I interacted with them, and then you're on borrowed land, right? If Instagram went away tomorrow, would you still have your audience? That's things that you want to ensure that as a business owner, you're kind of future proofing yourself for. So having a website legitimizes your business, right? You could buy a website there's places you could host a website for free, right? I know, like, if you want to sell online, Shopify, the smallest plan on that is like $30 a month, but it's well worth it to have those controls to be able to do, right? To be able to serve your customers, have that online presence. If somebody Google searches Dave's Tees, right, I'm going to show up. It makes me look like a legitimate business, and that's going to set you already on a different playing field than anybody at home with just some HTV and an iron, right? They're not going to have a great website. They're not going to have the quality products. They're not going to have that knowledge or that traveling sample pack to be like, no, check out all these capabilities. Oh, 20 colors? Yeah, no problem. Oh, you want to print on polyester? Yeah, here's an example of polyester, right? And so that customer is like, man, this, you know what you're doing, right? You have these solutions. You're solving the problems that I have, right? And you're bringing my idea to life. That's what the customer is going to think, and it's going to stand you out, right? But they want to make sure that you're real deal. How many people listening right now go to Google reviews to look up a restaurant, right? Or a business that you've never done business with before, right? You want that online presence, and that's why it's very important. Now, of course, on all of your products, you want the good descriptions. Jason says Shopify has a $5 entry plan. Absolutely, right? I think that's like a $5 entry trial plan, and you could get a couple months out of it, and then they boost you up to the other one. If they open that up to be like a long-term solution, that's fantastic, right? Especially if you don't have like a lot of products all at once listed, or you're just going to be kind of rotating through them. But there's a ton of different ones out there. I ask you to do your own research. I'm not affiliated with any of those online store platforms. And so, yeah, go and research if it's Wix or Squarespace or anything like that, right? There's free ones, there's like plugins you could even buy for WordPress that get super technical. I'm going to bet that you want to have things easy because you want to focus on selling and focus on decorating apparel, right? So Jason says not a trial. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Jason. And definitely for somebody to check out if you're looking at setting up your first online stores over there. That's an absolutely incredible value. They even have like shipping built into that too. And then of course, like if you grow into the needing automation in your print shop business, things like Fulfill Engine and that store backend really kind of connects everything together. So you could even fulfill out of the back end of Shopify too. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So, but you want to ensure that if you are posting on social media or you have order now buttons, that you do have like a clear call to action, right? You want people to have that next step. So that's one thing to look at. If you do have an online store, you want an easy checkout process that takes all of the different payment options, which is one thing that I know Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, all of those major platforms really do well, right? It is a known checkout platform. So people don't feel like, what am I doing with my credit card information? I want to buy this, but like, maybe I should use my PayPal to protect me, right? No, eliminate that. Eliminate it. Make it look legit and give people, release any of that anxiety from being able to actually, sell, right? If somebody already made it to your website, they added a product to cart, the last thing you want to do is scare them off when they're about to give you money, right? We don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen to you, right? So you want to ensure that you don't have any of that problem. You want to make money, right? I want to make money, right? Of course, we talk about paid ads last because, like I said, it's best to have that organic marketing where you're not necessarily going to have to go out and pay for advertising for every new customer. But advertising is one great way to stay top of mind with your audience, right? And expand your reach, because you could target lookalike audiences or based on specific interests, right? Or people who have interacted with you in the past, or like with Google ads, you could set search terms. So if someone's looking for custom t-shirts in Cleveland, regardless if my website is brand new or not, I could show up at the top of Google, depending on how much it pays. Sometimes it's very expensive for the bids on some of those hot keywords, right? But if I was going to do something with like just my local community, right? Or here, Transfer Express is based in Menor, right? So I could type in Menor local printing, and if there's enough search volume, I could target that keyword. So I'm the first result or second result that shows up when somebody goes to Google and searches for a custom decorator, right? So if you have a specific niche, those keywords are going to be less generic, right? So they're going to have less people marketing, which is going to be a lower cost, right? So yes, and even the retargeting. So you could set up specific triggers. So if somebody visits your website but doesn't buy anything or doesn't submit an email or anything like that, like doesn't submit a quote or anything, that you could show up when they're scrolling on social media later, right? So you're able to set that up through paid ads. We could do an entire webinar solely on paid ads and be here all afternoon to set you up. So we do have some resources dabbling in it over on our Transfer Express YouTube page. So be sure to go check those out if you're interested in learning more. But even with like any marketing, social media, paid ads, right? The trends are changing consistently, right? Of what like the best practices are. So do maybe a couple hours of research and you're going to be perfectly fine up and running. The only thing I want to mention before we move on from any paid ads is it's so tempting to take that post on Facebook or Instagram and just go boost this post, right? Let me spend $200 boosting this post. It's a mistake in a lot of cases, right? Because unless your audience is already interacting with it, it's just going to go out everywhere. Like, I want it to advertise to everybody in the 50-mile range of Cleveland, Ohio. Cool. I'm going to pay so much money to people who are never going to buy from me. I should focus my marketing to be as targeted as possible, right? Just when we're talking about those niches, those audiences, right? That you want to be as targeted as possible. So you're only spending money showing ads to people who are already likely to buy from you, right? So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind there. So let's move on. We're going to get into our calendar year. And let me explain this a little bit before we start going month to month to month, right? So what we're looking at here is things you could focus on and kind of earmark each month for, because we want you to be planning ahead. You need to be ready to advertise, right? So in January, we need to be advertising at the start of January the events that are going to be happening in February, mid-February, late February, because we need enough time to put that stuff out there on social media to say, hey, you probably saw advertisements for Christmas shopping in August or July, right? I feel like it's earlier. One of these years, it's going to be like before 4th of July that we're doing Christmas shopping, right? I know it was way before Thanksgiving this year and even before Halloween, right? So think of that same kind of workflow. If there's an event coming up, you need to be able to market that you are capable and that you have the solutions to market for that event. That festival coming up that's in your hometown every single year, it's in April, right? It shouldn't be 1 month ahead of time. It can't be the end of March that you're like, oh, hey, I can do printing for that. Most of the printing, that ship sailed, right? So you always want to be moving that 1 month ahead so that you have the time to advertise, you have the time to sell, you have the time to produce it, and you have the time to deliver it, right? And so you want to be the first person that people are going to see with that. And so they're not going to go, oh, I could go on Etsy and get this too, right? So we're going to cover everything from January to June. We do have a webinar from last year covering the July to December. So like the opportunities for the second half of the year. And you could also go check out the ebooks. And I'm going to see if Mike could grab a link and put the ebooks in here. And so these are great kind of reference points for you year round that you could always kind of have an eye on what's coming up ahead of time. But we're going to cover some right here today, starting with January, right? So when you're in January, Number one, big printing opportunity is events like Valentine's Day, right? So you could do a ton of different fun sayings, especially if you're just running your own brand. Just like we see here with this ice cream shirt, opposite of screen from me. Might be on that way. I don't know. I think I'm reversed here in the my little photo or my little video down here. But you see, like, for a even ice cream parlor, right, that has a themed event or even wants to sell merch around it, local businesses, right? The middle school dances or any of just like the generic stuff that you could sell on Facebook Marketplace, which people have great success, or Etsy, right? So you have all of those fun little sayings. Of course, leveraging pop culture here is a great way to help designs be more relevant and timely and really connect with other people, right? Like the love story era, right? Taylor Swift just concluded her huge tour. So like still very, very popular, but you want to avoid any copyrights, right? You want to ensure that you're avoiding any of those licenses, because I just read about another Etsy shop that essentially just got completely shut down because of Disney stuff, right? Saying like, hey, these are it's just 3 circles. And Disney's like, no, we know exactly what you're doing. And Etsy will they are pretty proactive about shutting stores down that violate specific copyrights, right? So you want to ensure that you're not violating, don't get in trouble, right? It could absolutely just shutter your business, especially as a small business, to get hit with legal fees, right? I don't want that to happen. Just avoid it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, right? Other ideas for January here include Black History Month, as Black History Month in February. And so all of the kickoff celebrations, there's towns and cities that do the parades and marches, the art exhibitions, look at your local libraries, right? Local communities, educational workshops, there's seminars, there's classes, there's those speaking engagements, right? All of those things around any of these events like this. Of course, there's film festivals and film screenings, panel discussions, and of course the markets, the fairs. Those maker markets are really popular, at least here in the Midwest, through like even this holiday season, but even after the holiday season, the winter markets are really, really popular. So they're great opportunities to be able to be decorating for, or if you're looking to just get your name out there in your local community, showing up with just some, local pride shirts really help out as well. And of course, there's always these volunteer events. So if local community and starting local is really a big aspect for you growing your business, this is a great opportunity to make it happen. Of course, also coming up in February, you want to get ready for Mardi Gras. It's actually in March, but you want to be printing for it, right? Because as there's a lot of travel, there's a lot of events, you want to be able to showcase. You could do it in January, so you have all of February to produce it for your customer, deliver on time, right? As we are tied to these occasions or events, it becomes 100% irrelevant once you pass that date, right? And so here we're very, very conscious of that at Transfer Express, which is why Express is in our name, right? I think our longest turn time is essentially 3 days, right? Most of our transfers that you order from us here at Transfer Express are leaving the next business day, with like Ultra Color Max, if you order it before 8 a.m. So it's leaving the same day. I do a lot of my my ordering in the wee hours of the night or the wee hours of the morning, whichever way you look at it. So I know that same day that I place it, it's going to be ready or ship out right at the end of that day. So you're able to hit that timeliness, right? Because in a perfect world, yes, our customers are ordering 2 months ahead of time. Well, that'd be great, right? Doesn't always happen like that. And it's usually hey, so it's Monday, I have this event Saturday, can you get me shirts for it? Yeah, 200 of them. And you're scrambling to figure out how to get it done. And so we understand that. And here at Transfer Express, we want to ensure that we are getting you your transfers on time so that you have time to decorate them and meet the needs of your customers. Speed, of course, could turn that somebody who has heard about you. Maybe they're in your local community, your paths have crossed, but it's that one event that's like, oh man, we dropped the ball on this. We need somebody to bail us out. And that's your in, right? That's your in. And now you knock it out of the park. The experience is so great in a terrible scenario of I need this rush. You're able to help this person out. You're able to help this customer out, and bam, all the way through. So let's Kelsey has a great question in here, right? How do you capitalize on pop culture without violating copyright? You mentioned Taylor Swift and Disney. It's just 3 circles. No, it's Mickey. It's just a saying. No, it's Taylor Swift lyrics. How do you navigate it legally? We've tried to figure it out and it seems very confusing. So it is it's not necessarily like super black and white, right? You're going to see one way coming up here very, very soon. I think it's even on the next slide. Yep. This next slide that we'll move through. This is what I talked about when I talked about number 1, that watermark on images, and number 2, avoiding copyright. So I'm going to hide my little face so you can see behind right there. But in the bottom right-hand corner, that's KC Swagger. And so what is it? Spirit Wear Specialists is even what the tagline is underneath it. Absolutely love it, right? We had KC Swagger on the podcast a couple months ago talking about spirit wear and stuff like this, but based in Kansas City, real kind of hot with the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift kind of thing. So just like this love story, right? Not a trademarked or copyrighted phrase, way too generic, right? To ever be. That's like trying to trademark Taco Tuesday, right? Can't do it. I know LeBron tried it. I don't know why I'm bringing up LeBron a lot today, but love story, right? You have the bracelet, right? And I believe that the number 87 is on that. So that's Travis Kelce's number, right? And all the bracelets. So like this is a very big head nod. Yes. So using sayings, right? So here is a perfect idea, right? When we're talking about avoiding licensing issues, when we talk about the big game, right? I can't actually say superb owl or, put those words together, right? You can't actually say it, right? Well, I think I can through education, but right, the big game, the NFL's championship game that happens every February, right? So you could say the big game, right? You just have to avoid saying it. The same thing with like teams, right? I can't say Cleveland Browns. I could say it, but I can't put Cleveland Browns on a shirt, right? So you could put Cleveland football, right? And there is a great website, I believe it's called Gerber Law, that tracks a lot of those copyrights. So you could Google search the copyrights. I didn't know that, like here with the Cleveland Browns, right? The fan base is known as the Dog Pound, right? Which they actually have trademarked. So like Dog Pound as it relates to football and the colors orange, brown, and white, like you can't print apparel with it because it is protected. So research those things before you do it. And ensure that if somebody asks you to stop, you probably should stop. Don't call their bluff and say, "Oh yeah, totally. No, we bought 200 of these shirts already. We printed 200 of these shirts already. We're going to sell them." It might not be worth it, right? So, yeah, definitely some stuff. I saw Mike put a link in there that is absolutely super helpful, right? And that's about some of the licensing and with teams, logos, NFL, right? Like Mickey Mouse, right? I'm pretty sure when they're like, "Oh, it's just 3 circles." No, they knew what they were doing, right? You don't get warnings and get popped for doing things that you are, "Oh yeah, no, that's not Mickey Mouse. That's not Minnie Mouse. Oh no, that's just a car. It's not Lightning McQueen." No, you know what you're doing, right? So if you purposefully avoid it and don't say the specific things that you know are already protected, using a logo of an NFL team, even colleges, right? NCAA, all of those major leagues, you really want to be careful about just don't use the team names, don't use the team logos. You could use team colors, right? You could use the city names. Those are safe. So Darren says, what if it's for a family reunion or trip to Disney and not for sale on a website to anyone? So if you are creating it yourself, right, you could create anything yourself. If it's like your buddy who you're selling it to and it's for personal use for them, they're not reselling it, you're making money off of it. So it's commercial for you. I know that's a very slippery slope because you see all of the bootleg stuff when you go to Disney. Maybe we need an ebook specifically on printing for Disney there too. But of course, back on track here. That's a great question, though. Thank you so much for asking that, Kelsey. And one that is not black and white and very easy to, there's not a definitive line in the sand. with a lot of sports licensing, there is a definitive line in the sand. But with some of the pop culture figures, but like, yeah, there, people say things on social media and then they are like, oh, that's mine. I copyrighted it. And like, did you? No, probably not. People also jumped on top of it and started printing for it. Like, yeah, it's you just want to ensure that you aren't infringing on anybody's copyright. And if you're unsure, you could usually Google search the specific phrase or the specific character and see if they are protected. So with the big game, please be creative and avoid any licensing, especially if you're advertising on social media with, like I talked about, your own logo as a watermark on the image, because they know exactly who to go to, right? But yes, you're going to want to avoid that in New Orleans, February 9th this year. Really looking forward to that one, even though my team, the Cleveland Browns, has absolutely no chance of showing up for it. Of course, as we move through January, the Lunar New Year starts January 29th, so you should probably be on top of that now. If your city, town, I know an area here in Cleveland really throws a huge festival, right, for the Lunar New Year, and 2025 here is the year of the snake. Coming up when we hit February, now we're kind of looking starting into March, right? One of the largest merch holidays, of course, St. Patrick's Day, the pub crawls, the 5K races, the just feeling lucky, the trips, the hangouts, the parties, whatever it might be, right? Regardless if you're selling on Etsy, selling to your local community, right? I know here in Cleveland, we have a very, very large Irish community, and it is quite the day around town, right? So there are many other cities that I've been to on St. Patrick's Day or heard about, and yes, absolutely great printing opportunities, kind of regardless of what your target audience is too, because even like some construction companies, trades, that will work that day have company parties where they're going to do uniforms or they're going to do shirts that are kind of like themed, right? But this is something where then you include that date where it's like, the Joe's Landscaping St. Patrick's Day Party 2025, because they're going to come back in 2026 and they're going to want the same shirts, right? Remember, oh yeah, 2025 was that year that Billy, stood on his head or dressed like a leprechaun or whatever it might be, right? So you kind of have that memento for those events, even on, say, look, applied to a corporate market like that too, right? So I love about apparel decorating is you could apply so much of this creativity. So let's keep moving on, right? In February, depending on where you live, it's probably getting close to spring sports season. So definitely one thing to keep in mind as we start looking forward into the sports seasons, if that's your target market, or even if you're adjacent, right? Your local community schools, leagues, you're probably going to pick up spirit wear somewhere here and there, right? So baseball, uniforms, accessories, the spirit wear, the training camps, right? As they start up, the gym bags, the tote bags, the shoe cinch sacks, right? There's all of this opportunity that's more than just t-shirts, hats, headwear, right? For spring sports, a big one. And baseball and softball is typically one of the largest ones as we go through. Now, of course, when we keep going, April 20th is going to be Easter this year. So all of those religious events, there are those 5Ks, right? Any of those holidays and those occasions, right? The farmers markets or the shopping centers that sometimes have those little events around it, right? So Deb says, we are a faith and inspirational based apparel business. It's a new business with a strong vision. What target areas would be most beneficial? You just named it, right? What is the most important to the faith and inspirational, right? It's probably building community, right? So start locally, right? If you are part of any groups that try to uplift each other or, share insights or like all of that stuff right there, that's your tribe. You already found it, right? Your church, your local congregation, start right there, right? Trying to uplift people up. If you want to, start sponsoring, maybe, any other events, just latch on and sponsor. Hey, we're just going to have coffee afterwards, right? Let's talk. Let's, we're going to do a food drive. And what a great way to get your name out there. And as people are dropping off canned goods, boom, now you're showing off your custom apparel that somebody's like, I love that saying on that. That makes me feel good, right? And so you start locally, you start with what you know. And I guarantee if you take that messaging and the inspiration and faith that you absolutely believe in and take it to social media and be real, be authentic, be yourself, people are going to latch on to that too, right? People are going to feel uplifted by you, and bam, there you go. Is that good enough, Deb, for a little bit of a target market that you could get started with, start to see some success? So don't look too far beyond your own kind of front door right here, right? Focus on what you know, and that faith and inspiration is stellar, right? I love uplifting other people, right? And you already have a target market right there in mind. So, of course, as we talk about any faith-based events here, Easter, right? So as you go towards these, any occasion, you could start right now, right before Christmas, any of the donations, or, bringing help to people who are in need while you are also delivering an inspiring and uplifting message. There is no way you cannot succeed, right? 100%. And then when Easter rolls around, or maybe when you're in March, you're planning for Easter at the end of April with all of some inspirational sayings or being around in your local community. I know, and even if it's not like your congregation, it's adjacent, any churches or religious events that you could start to get involved with, or say hey, I understand your needs, right? I work with your neighbors, right? I understand your needs here in this community. I know, we do this program every year, wondering if you want to contribute to helping put donations together for a local homeless shelter or something like that. And odds are they're going to be like, yeah, we're behind that 100%. And now your business card's there. So when they need new hoodies for the Vacation Bible School, you're there, right? Right. So definitely just one way to apply it right here. So bam. See, Deb, absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, anybody else, feel free to ask those questions in here, right? That's what these seminars and these sessions are for here, is that we want to help your business succeed. If we see you back in a year from now and you go, hey, yeah, I started out and now I'm here, we're going to celebrate it, right? If you come back a year from now with challenges, we want to help you solve them. That's what the entire team, from the front door to the press floor here at Transfer Express Installs, wants to see you thrive, right? So anything we could do, just like this free education that we're doing right now, is built to help you out. So when we're in March too, look for that spring break, typically in that April season, sometimes even earlier. So if you're one of those kind of communities that has the spring break, even in probably early March, February, right? Be looking at it. But I know around here, we're typically usually right in April. So March is the time to start looking at any of those spring break, or if you live in a vacation town and it's like that gearing up for that summer, you start to get the spring breakers coming to the beach, and then full summer is everybody coming in, right? This is the stuff that you could look for, the college groups, any of those festivals, right? Music festivals, or of course, those family vacations at Disney that we were just talking about, right? So definitely one thing to keep in mind. But you can see here that we are planning ahead, right? So when we start to look at April, of course, and May is going to be Mother's Day, all of those customized gifts for mom, you're able to do with a heat press, right? And one thing I want to point out here right above me is the fact that you could put Ultra Color Max or even our goof-proof screen printed transfers on cardboard to really truly create this custom gift, this custom pack that really makes it an experience, right? So even if this is for a fundraiser for, the daycare that I used to take my daughters to school would always do donuts with mom, donuts with dad, right? Or muffins with mom and donuts. I don't know. But it was always like a breakfast around Mother's Day or Father's Day, right? Where they made this whole event. And imagine if somebody would have pitched them, hey, we could do these nice little kits and it has a little, a custom apron in there, or something for mom, a t-shirt for mom, and a matching t-shirt for the little one, where it's and it comes in this prepackaged kit. I bet if somebody would have pitched that daycare, hey, this is something we could include and this is going to be the price, they're like, wow, that is awesome, right? We absolutely would want to do that. What a great add-on that we could add to this event. But it's knowing your audience, right? It's knowing your market to be able to say, hey, what if we put this pop-up store together for everybody on the football team, for the high school football team, and we'll put your son's number with mom on the back like this jersey, right? And you stand up that store, just have a little field, put in your son's name, put in the number, and boom, now we're making replica jerseys. And you're going to charge 35 or 40 bucks because as a gift, like, wow, what a great personalized gift. And now your spirit wear is taken care of for the fall. And what better gift you could give somebody with that personalization? It's one of a kind, unique, right? That's building value in your services, being able to supply some of these ideas to your customers. So definitely things to look forward to, even if it's just like Augusta baseball, it's one in the middle, right? With just mom, right? Knowing that you need to start showing off this stuff before the events happen really sets you up for that success there with your business. Now, of course, we talked about Mother's Day, right? But the end of school is right around that same time too. The proms, the graduations. I know the after prom parties, and almost every school I feel like has t-shirts as part of that giveaway, right? And those are great orders, especially if that graduating class is 200, 300, or like my high school's graduating class was 550, right? That is an incredibly great order to get in a nice big bulk run. Another thing is the signature shirts, right? Just like we see here in the middle. It is a design with everybody's signature on it. We make it fairly easy here at Transfer Express with some templates that you could get, have everybody sign into them. Or if you have an iPad now, it's even easier. Have everybody sign into that design and then just upload it straight into transferexpress.com, right? So with Mother's Day, we have Father's Day. And you can see some really cool items from the golf towels to gloves to can coolers, right? So you could use all of these different items that are so much more than just apparel, right? So really fantastic to be included into that, more than just t-shirts and hoodies. But nice gifts and accessories for dad too. We did have, I saw somebody decorating, just put Ultra Color Max on a tool bag, right? So like really, really nice being able to do that one off. And so, yeah, your dad's, your grandpa's, right? Showcasing that you have these capabilities is how someone's going to go, I didn't know you do that. And you go, yeah, absolutely. And that's how you're going to convert those sales right there, right? Ideas for the month for May, of course, looking into June is Pride season. You have all of those festivals, events, in communities that come together too, right? So much you could do, from the tote bags, right? When we're saying, hey, it's a parade, it's a festival, it's an event, let's bring something else other than just t-shirts, right? Even when we start to look into June, starts to get into the summer, right? So tank tops, think of those items as they come seasonally, right? And just kind of bookmarking it a little bit on your calendar to go, okay, now I need to start thinking about this and moving forward to this. Becomes kind of second nature almost as a business owner when you start to grow them up, or start to get it rolling, you know. For May, you could always think about family reunions, right? And when they are a large order for these larger family reunions, it's best to use like a goof-proof screen print and transfer, right? I think I saw in the chat we were talking about bulk quantities and what's going to be the best in the feel of a plastisol transfer. Definitely, I love the efficiency of printing them. I just did 48 shirts in 26 minutes, I think, the other day. So being able to really be super efficient with my time, being able to decorate accurately too, right? With the right equipment and that nice quality, feels like it's screen printed result. And I'll say the 4 to 6 seconds that a goof-proof screen printed transfer applies in is just as fast as it takes to pull a squeegee without the setup, the mess, the inks, emulsion. Just really makes it so easy for anybody to be able to print quality custom apparel that looks and feels like it's actually screen printed, right? So then we do want to make sure that there's always going to be the people who don't order. And this doesn't just go for family reunions, right? It goes for any market. When you're doing those fundraisers, those pop-up stores, it's always good to order some extras, because then you go, you missed the bulk order, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And they go, but wait, you're telling me there's a chance that I could still get a t-shirt? And you're like, yes, right? Even if you have to do it in, say you did it in screen printed transfers, you could go just produce one with a Ultra Color Max direct to film transfer, right? So like you could still do it, but you're going to charge accordingly because now it's not part of the bulk run. And in a lot of cases, you're still going to have those transfers that were left over. So, man, absolutely incredible to be able to say, oh yeah, it's double the price. Okay, no problem. I'm so glad I could still get one. And essentially it's not costing you anything extra to print then too. So one hot tip when we're doing any large orders for teams, events, especially family reunions, because you know they're going to be photographed, is don't split the sizes up every single size. So like if I'm 8 inches wide on a small, I'm not 9 inches wide on a medium, I'm not 10 inches wide on a large, I'm not 11 inches wide on an extra large. Because when you put everybody up and photograph them, it looks absolutely insane. Like your brain just thinks it looks messy and not uniform, right? So that's why it's always important. I will make the division based on youth and adult, right? So the youth and adult sizes will get different sizes, size to the smallest on the order. So if small is the smallest on the order, I know I could fit 11 inches wide. I'll do 11 inches wide, and 11 inches wide all the way up. I wear I wear an extra large sweatshirt right now, and 11 inches wide on me is still right here, right? So it's still going to look proportional. It's going to be that full front graphic of what you want. Now, you could also save a lot of cost and even pass that on to your customer too by keeping it one setup, one order. It's less organization, less hassle, and it looks so much better when you line everybody up for the family photo, all in matching t-shirts, and you're not like, wait, I can't even see it on that shirt, right? It's all uniform. This is great for those uniforms for employee wear too, right? Any of those restaurants that you're working for. Like imagine if the numbers were different sizes on like football jerseys, right? Doesn't matter. Some of those guys are small little guys. Some of those dudes are the Incredible Hulk, right? And having the same size number on everybody's shirt, the same size name, it makes sense, right? It looks uniform. Everybody's wearing the same thing regardless of what size they are, right? It doesn't have to look proportional to the person. You're really overthinking it and complicating things as a business owner just starting out. That's going to impact your profitability, right? So in the old days, that was burning a screen, right? I see some former screen printers in here too. And like, yeah, you're not burning a screen for all of those individual sizes. That would be astronomically expensive. And is anybody going to really notice a ½ inch on print sizing at the end of the day? Right? What is that? A ½ inch on a 11-inch wide shirt? It's less than 10%. Nobody's going to be able to eyeball that, right? And it's going to just look better to be consistent. So keep those shirts consistent and optimize your profits by keeping them consistent. When we look into June, right? Now we're looking into the summer months. So we're looking into that July, August, maybe even early September. And I know this is one thing that even like in June, July, when the kids are out of school, and then like you're already thinking back to school, right? it definitely gets hard when you're like, no, but summer just started. Got to be thinking for that back to school. But here in June, thinking for that full summer, the golf outings, and printing for golf is a great market to get into, especially if you're in that kind of like athletic adjacent or even local events, right? The promotional apparel, golf is huge with, and heat transfers work so good on performance wear polyester, right? Those polos, and of course, even the golf towels like we even saw earlier here too. But the t-shirts, of course, the shoe bags, so those little cinch jacks that I mentioned earlier, the coolers, tea holders, even I think there's a video on our Stalls TV YouTube channel decorating a bag itself, like a bag for clubs, right? So you have so much that you could do and be able to really profit with all of these diverse finishes, all of the diverse transfers and stuff that you could use. So as we look at events, just like golf events, look for your local community events or any organizations that you are involved with. Summertime is a great time for events. From those extra city festivals, maybe the cultural festivals, the religious festivals, music festivals, car shows, the drive-ins, the fairs, horse shows, 4-H clubs. There's so much that goes on over the summer that you absolutely need to be ready for and printing for long in advance, or advertising that you are available for those services. Hey, large quantities, no problem. Quick turnaround, no problem, right? Whatever is going to make the most sense to that audience, right? And especially when you kind of pitch those ideas for the additional value of what you could add. Oh, hey, no, we'll design it for you, include it in the price, right? Because you have that easy view online designer, and you have your idea book where you're going to find this exact endless summer music festival layout, and you could put anything else you want into it. We're about to jump into easy view, so If you're interested in seeing a little bit of a demo there, all the way from bringing an idea to life and then mocking it up, we'll be able to do it here in just a couple minutes, right? So ideas for the month of June, of course, we talked about occasions and events. 4th of July, you do have those parades, picnics, family reunions, sometimes revolve around a 4th of July holiday or a summer holiday, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Anything that's going to bring the community out is probably going to be a good bet for you to be custom printing. So 4th of July, you should be thinking about in beginning of June. Now, of course, we went through and covered everything from January all the way through June and opportunities to be looking for ways that you can profit selling custom decorated apparel. But we showed so much more than just regular apparel, right? We showed those golf towels. We showed tote bags, coolers, koozies, even those gloves for Father's Day, right? I talked about the tool bags even, right? We showed boxes. Cardboard is a great surface to put this whole tip together, right? Here, garden flags, right? Car flags. We have a video on our Transfer Express YouTube page, if you haven't seen already, all about decorating flags and the different markets they're great for. Plus, like for events where kids are going to be there, being able to print little promotional flags with the extra space on your gang sheet or even an Ultra Color Max transfer, you could make them for like 25 cents a piece. And if you include your own logo on it when you go hand out little flags to everybody at the 4th of July parade, everybody is taking your brand home now. And especially if you are leveraging your local community, how absolutely fantastic is that, right? Even if it's not your own business, that landscaper, right? That serves the local community because you're more into like workwear, trades, look and stuff like that, right? That landscaper, you know, that's going to be in the 4th of July parade. Oh, hey, what if we made a whole bunch of flags that said like Happy 4th of July, Mentor, and then we just put your logo on it? They're going to be 25 cents a piece. Or even if you say, hey, they're going to be 50 cents a piece. Wait, 50 cents a piece? Put my landscaping company in every kid's hand that their parents are going to see that and be like, wow, we do need to trim the bushes. Yeah, that tree does need to get chopped down. It can't keep up on the grass this year, right? You have to think of these solutions for your customers as a custom decorator that's going to help them succeed. And if they win and you contributed to that, they're always going to keep buying custom printing from you because you have built that relationship. You understand their needs, right? And as a business owner, that's exactly what you need to do. So everything from home decor, right? We did some like hanging, kind of like those hanging flags for the home decor. We're even doing ornaments right now. We're kind of doing it in the office. We're doing a little like secret Santa thing where you pick the name and then you have to make an ornament with Ultra Color Max. Those little wood ornaments are so easy. They press nice. And the Ultra Color Max in that ornament shape is less than $1, right? So being able to just add that in on any other order, maybe a great idea for your customers this year. Make them a custom ornament that says, thanks for your business, or, you know, just that little reminder of you. And those little unexpected touches just delight customers. And that's how you build that brand loyalty, right? So just some ideas that you could incorporate more than just t-shirts. Everything you saw decorated too was just done with a heat press. So whether you have one of the Hotronix Air Fusion machines or an autoclam, which is one of my favorite, or even a smaller craft press, right? All you need for that quality application is that adjustable pressure and that locking heat press, right? You don't want to be using an iron because you're not getting the consistent and predictable results that are easily repeatable, right? If you have any variables in there, that's an opportunity to either hurt your efficiency or hurt your quality, which at the end of the day is going to hurt your profit, right? My worst case scenario is that my prints don't hold up for my customers, right? I would love to be able to see, oh, that transfer didn't apply. Well, it's still in my shop, right? Well, I'm still printing it because now I can fix it. 9 times out of 10, when a customer is disappointed, they don't come back to you. It's not worth my time. Next time I need shirts, I'm going to go to somebody else. You never know to correct your own issue, right? So you want to ensure that you have that quality that keeps them coming back to you. Having a quality heat press. And I'm not saying you have to buy a Hotronix press, right? You have to buy a press with adjustable pressure that is capable of locking down and has consistent time, temperature, and pressure. Those are the 3 aspects that you need for quality decoration. And that right there sets you apart, right? from anybody else with an iron or a Cricut machine, right? Because now you have the quality that is going to withstand the durability testing that we put each transfer through, right? So the vast majority of the transfers we have here at Transfer Express are 50 wash dry cycles. So the industry standard for the lifetime of a garment. You'll start to see holes or kind of the shirt wearing out long before the decoration fails on it, right? So this one I have on right now is probably about 15 washes in with Ultra Color Mix. Absolutely bright. I could rub it, and I know it's not going to peel up, right? That is on there for the long haul. This is probably one of the newer shirts that I have too. I have some that are old. We're talking, 4 or 5 years old now, that look absolutely phenomenal. So, I see Mike put the link in there for the custom flags video. So yeah, be sure to check that one out, right? So everything that we saw here in this presentation was created in EasyView Online Designer using one of these layouts that we found here in the idea book, just like we see here on screen as well. And if you get yourself an idea book too, you can see that every single one of these does have little codes underneath it. And that's how you could easily recall that up for your customers here in like soccer layouts. Yeah, we want this one, but instead of Eagles, we want it to be the Cougars instead of, and just some other ones in here. Look, here's some of those pride layouts we were just looking at. A Las Vegas sign for like a Las Vegas vacation. I realize that you can't see these in here. But everything is available in the free EasyView Online Designer that we could create that artwork. Whether you're a student, you have zero experience, all you have to do is just register for a free account. And then you can even mock up directly in here, save the order that essentially is quoted out. So you have your cost already set. You could mock it up for your customer, build that trust, right? And then be able to, when they say, yes, absolutely, looks perfect. Here, invoice paid. Here's my credit card. Now you're placing the order. You're being able to mock it or to order it and essentially then just produce it and have it ready to go. So I'm going to kick on over to EasyView Online Designer here in just 1 second as my computer cooperates with me. And that's exactly what this is right here. So this is what EasyView Online Designer looks like when you just get to it. You could get to it here from transferexpress.com, clicking on the green button right here at the top, order transfers or online designer. And it's going to kick you into the EasyView Online Designer here, all the same. So what we could do here too is just go browse those layouts, right? So you see all of those occasions that we talked about, from 4th of July to different birthdays that we have coming up, of course, Christmas, any elections like we just got through, any of these other events, right? Like a poker run, the 5Ks, the food festivals, going on a casino trip. Yeah, sure. You could go on a casino trip. That sounds like fun. Oktoberfest. So you could see all of this artwork is all in here already categorized. And if I wanted to search too, whoop, I just hit the microphone for you. But say I did want to search like Oktoberfest, you could just search here in the top bar and it's going to pull up right there. If I wanted to pull up just July 4th, here's a whole bunch. Wow, this little hot dog guy, right? Like, that's so cool. And you could change all of the colors, the artwork here. So like if I wanted to change this into just a one color design, I of course could just go in here and start changing this, right? Or maybe I just want the mustard on them. So I'll grab that blue and I could change it to yellow, and I'll grab this one and change it to yellow. So now I have this unique print, and how easy it is to just click on it that, Mentor hot dog festival or something, right? And you could easily just grab this and edit whatever you need, right? If I wanted to change this font, I absolutely could. Boom, fits so much better. And now I have a design, right? Now that's pretty silly, right? But it shows you just how easy it is. And I could save this right here. So you could even select different folders for different customers, different seasons, different events, anything like that, right? So let's just go through, say, schools are such a huge market. Let's just start this session brand new and say that we're going to go through an entire workflow for a school, right? We brought them this idea book because, here we go. We bought them this idea book because we didn't want to spend time designing. So we're going to either pitch it with them and sit down and go, this is all the artwork. And as we're talking about the different options of what we have, hey, we could use this ink. This is going to be great for your single orders or anything like that, right? So let's just look in here and we'll find one, right? Just regular sports, athletics, regular schools. Let's find a good one in here for our school, right? Let's do this one. QCU 55, right? So kind of this timeless vintage retro look, QCU 55. So they picked this one through here, and we're going to go right here into the online designer that we have on screen. I could go to add layout, right? And QCU 55. Whoop. One too many fives right here, and it's going to import right into our system. And look, it even comes with this distress on it. You could do these effects, do the distressing, adding outlines, adding patterns. With one click, it's gone. If I want to add it back in, or any of these distressing textures, I add it right back in, right? And this isn't going to cause any issues or anything when you're printing. You don't have to rasterize it or do any weird export settings. No, this is going to be all set for you, right? So obviously, it's not Compton University. This is all just placeholder text. So we could say we want this one right here. Let's just say, what are we going to do? Let's just do Mentor because we're here in Mentor, right? And let's say 2025. We're going to be doing this for the graduating class or everybody in here. Or let's just say the school year, right? 24, 25, right? The school year. And they don't want this seal in here either. And they're not a university. So let's just say high school, right? High school. We could have that in there, but hey, I actually kind of want that to be like a script. Could we make that happen? Yeah, sure can. High school. We'll go here. We'll go ahead and grab just a script font. Of course, we could have it set just like that, or you could go to all of these categories. You have the control to do so much here in this designer. And all of this is technically like a vector based, right? So like we could scale, we don't have to worry about anything losing resolution with this artwork in here. And say they have their own mascot, you sure could upload it, absolutely no problem. I'm just going to change it to black so we all still stay one color. Grab this element and just delete it, right? You could do all of this control. It's all just a starting block for you to be able to put it. Even this letter spacing. Bring it closer together. There's not a lot of online designers that allow you to have as much control here with print-ready files for free, right? So definitely Canva and Kittl are great tools, but you have to pay to get that print-ready artwork, right? To be able to order your transfers with it. So you have it all here. Say I don't like this font and I want to go to another sport block font. There's a whole bunch right in here. So let's just do this full block, right? Something a little bit more classic. We absolutely can make it work. All right here. Now we're set, right? So say they want to upload their own, whoopsies. Say they want to upload their own designs here. So we don't want to be using this. We could just click like replace clip art and replace it with another clip art. So they are the Cardinals, right? So if we just search Cardinals, we have these Cardinals in here. Whole bunch of different variations from cartoony to a little bit more logo-like, and this is almost their exact logo, right? So a very generic, simple cardinal, but I just want to delete this out. We'll delete that C out as well, and I just want to make sure we didn't lose any other elements. We don't have anything else in there, right? So if we were to upload right here on the side, we could click upload and upload their own. So we could upload theirs, but let's just say I'm going to add this cardinal in right here. So just building it together, putting it in, and now we have it. If I wanted to start to color this, I absolutely could. So just go in here, ungroup this object. And now I wanted to make this red. Sure thing. Now it's red, right? You have the control to do all of this in here so easily. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say no ink. But what I will do is I'm going to take this and group it all together because I feel really good with how it looks right now. I'm going to size it to 11 by 11 inches, right? And this is our gang sheet, right? This is our dotted line on our gang sheet. I'm going to change all of our inks over to white. So now we just have a one color print. I'm going to price this here at the bottom. Let's say we're going to do that graduating class. Just let's just do 150 shirts, right? So a smaller class. We know right here that we're going to be at $1.42 per sheet. So per image here, right? Say if we just needed to do this image, we could actually shift on over to our single image program. Let's see, we are 851. So we could fit this within our 12 by 9. And now this is a single image at just 79 cents per transfer. we have an instant quote while we were building our artwork. But I want to back this up just to show you back to our sheet size. I'm just going to adjust the artboard so it's vertical so I don't have to tilt my head sideways if I rotated this. Say we want to add some inside tags or some extra stuff just for our own business, right? So let's go in here, go to shirt tags, right? So there's these layouts that you could pop in all the same. So I could just customize this, right? I've been saying my business is Dave's Tees this entire time. So like Dave's Tees, right? Like, and just as easy as we changed everything else, we could change this. We're going to be printing this on a large shirt or a medium shirt, just how easy it is to change that. So now I'm just going to copy these out. So we'll do, you know, like a small, medium, large, extra large. I'm not going to go through everything. I'll save you the trouble here. But say we want to do our own logo or we want to do something for a different customer, right? So like, let's just look sports, look at these best sellers. And yeah, something like this for the basketball or the baseball team, right? They aren't going to be Eagles. They're going to be Cardinals, but say we're going to be looking to do this on a hat or maybe even a, like left chest on polos for the coaches, because they're going to some training camp and they are going to learn and they want new polos to wear. So like here for the same exact, city, we have our mentor in there. And then we could just adjust these elements and have them fit where we want, right? So definitely makes it so super easy to be able to make any of these adjustments. If I want to skew this more, I absolutely could scale it all right here. So we're just going to park that one right there. We'll grab our baseball. And then because I don't want things moving around on me, I'm just going to go ahead and object group and let's size this to what? Like 4 inches for left chest. Whoops. I want to click that resize proportionally. Let's do 4 inches for the left chest. And I could even fit 2 of these up on the sheet, right? So I'm not going to need 300 of them, but this is just to show you how much we could put on this. This is going to be going on a red shirt, right? So now we have this, we have all of our pricing. So 142 is getting us everything on this sheet, which I could charge them $142 just for this image. All of this extra is free, right? But we're going to charge extra to put all of this stuff right on here. So this is great. I see Scott asking, how do the goof-proof transfers hold up to small type like on neck tags? So we do have minimums. You could always look at the standards right here. So you could see just how fine that minimum line thickness is, which is this green line. Let's zoom in all the way here on like some of this really super fine stuff. So this entire image right here is 2 inches wide. So this is 2 inches here to here. And let's look at these standards. So 0.3 millimeters. 0.012 inches is how fine we could get with the line thickness, right? Now the show through is this orange bar. We want to ensure that, say like this O, if this O does not meet the minimum, it risks closing up and just being a full circle instead of an O. But it looks like we're A-okay right there, right? So you could hold these up to all of these elements to ensure that you're not going to have any problem printing. So this is very fine detail of what we're going to be able to get here, up to 0.012 inches or essentially 1/3 of a millimeter. So really, really fine detail you could get here, as well as the Ultra Color Max 2, right? So I hope that answers your question in there. So we mocked it up. We already have the price, and we've saved this for later because now we could start working on, okay, how much do I want to pay for my time? This is the cost of the blanks. I'm going to mark it up this amount so you could get your customer that quote. This isn't going to change, right? But what I do want to do is just mock this up. So they want to see what it's going to look like on just a generic t-shirt, which is cool. So all I did in here is I went to this mock-up menu on the left-hand side. I'm going to hit use apparel or use stock. So just a generic red shirt here, right? And I'm going to highlight just our main image and click selection only. So our whole gang sheet goes away. Now this watermark, I could say Dave's Tees, right? Or I could just turn it off if I trust them. They're not going to go steal my artwork and take it to anybody else. And here, bam, we just put artwork, center chest, right there. I could download this as a web-ready use PNG image that I could send off to my customer. But they say, hey, we want to see what it's going to look like on these Gildan 1800 sweatshirts, right? So we could pull the 1800 itself. You see all of the real colorways that this is available in, right? So we're not just guessing on red or like you mock it up on burgundy and then, hey, they don't actually make that hoodie or sweatshirt in burgundy, right? So now we can mock it up. We have the model view that we could download. We also have just plain front and back views for most of the stuff in here that you're going to be able to see. Oh, hey, that's a great little mock-up right there. That's going to look great on an online store. Bam. We are all set. We download this one right here, send it to our customer. They go, absolutely looks phenomenal. Let's roll, right? So how easy is this? So Tim, this is the way that you're going to download it here. Because it is a free designer, you are ordering transfers here with it. So you don't need to download it or do any vector work yourself with it, and then order it right in. But you'll just be able to download the mock-up right here. So and have that ready to go for you. Yeah, with that download button there. So absolutely incredible platform to use for yourself, for your customers, especially if you have zero design experience. I spend a lot of time using AI to create stuff, right? And then you just go here, upload it, and upload it right into the system. Use the image creator to kind of trace it, right? Vectorize it so it's able to pull right in there. So yeah. Any questions about EasyView? We are going to hang around and we'll loop back in if we have time, just wrapping up. But I want to get us to the end here. I know we're already over time. And I value your time. I value your day. I value you hanging out and being able to be able to learn how to create, learn how to better your business. But right here is the marketing kit special that I was talking about earlier too. This is the lowest show special we usually do is like $45, right? So taking it down to $25 is an absolute steal. Like I mentioned, the color selector swatch book that's in here, number one is $20 by itself, and this has all of our real Plastisol ink colors. And then you're going to get a $10 or a $15 off coupon there. On your first order. So that could be applied to DTF transfers, these Plastisol screen print transfers that we just looked at, right? And in that designer, you could easily change your transfer type just in that bottom left-hand corner and change anything you need to be in there. So Kathy says, I haven't been able to download the mockups without the watermark. How do I get the watermark off? In that main mockup menu, Kathy, let me see if I could just pop over here real quick and answer this question for you. The main mockup window, there is a little toggle button for mockup on and off when you have it mocked up on apparel here. So just right here. So you would be clicked into like use apparel here. If that mockup was still on or that watermark, just click that little button right there and this will turn off. So we got that in there. Now, of course, all of the artwork is uploaded and changed frequently, right? Every single week we have our team of designers adding new layouts. You can see here in the promo layouts. This is all over Target, Old Navy, this like exact kind of layout design. You'll see it all over Etsy, right? Here are a whole bunch of trending holiday designs that we've been doing. Basketball, this kind of like retro. This is very similar, that like retro collegiate look, right? So you see all of these trending looks, pickleball being all the rage now. This kind of 80s throwback retro stuff. You see so much of it these days. So we're able to put all of it together. These kind of like collage-y images, very, very popular and trending. And we're trying to keep you as up to date on the trends as we absolutely can here. But back to that marketing kit presentation. Kathy, I hope I answered your question here for you. Is this, our slides coming? There you go. But yeah, so you get the color selector swatch book. You do get the printout of the Easy Prints idea book. You do get a pricing guide. You get digital assets, which I didn't even cover. So when we talk about being on social media, all of the images that are included in here, the real life examples, the real transfers that you're going to get as samples, we actually took video and photos. So you have stuff ready to post to TikTok or Instagram Reels or Facebook, right? We did that work for you. Your marketing kit or your marketing department essentially comes in this kit. Now you'll also receive some posters that you could put up around the shop. If you do have a storefront or a space, you're able to kind of put those up and it says, hey, I could do custom apparel. We could do custom names and numbers. Again, you need to tell your customers that you're able to actually do it. You need to tell them about your capabilities before they're going to buy it from you. So I'll leave this one up here. I think Mike put that link back in there. This is an absolute steal for the kit. It is regularly $55 with $15 free shipping. Here it is $25. I've never seen it priced this low. And like I said, that color selector swatch book is $20 all on its own. You get so much more with those. I think it's 16 full-size transfers. You'll get a t-shirt in this kit. You get the tote bag. So you could get confident in your abilities as a custom apparel decorator. And your confidence in decorating is going to translate to you closing more sales. Plus, now you're going to have a little showroom that you could bring around with you, essentially for $25. The transfers alone in this kit are worth way more than $25. That color selector swatch book is the $20 alone. The idea book by itself is, you could pick it up separately. It's $20 alone, right? So all of this stuff is really adding up. And then you get $15 back on your next order, whether that be the Ultra Color Max direct to film transfers, which could be, if you're doing left chest prints, $15 of DTF would be, that's a lot. Like, you're probably at less than $1 per print on that. Maybe even like 50 cents per print for something that looks like this, right? So like, man, you are doing a lot of prints with that $15. $15 definitely brings down the cost per piece when we're talking about our goof-proof screen printed transfers, right? There's so much that you could use that for that. Yeah, if you're looking to really kick your business off, picking up this marketing kit for this price is just yeah. I don't know how we did this. I got told we could do it for $25, and man, that is a absolute incredible deal. But it's all here to help your business grow, help you sell more, help you be confident in those color choices when you're pitching a customer, right? So we are, DS, do you sell the boxes? We sell these boxes, right? Personalization, Anita, yes. The personalization is the field where your name will be in here. So we're actually going to print your name at the bottom right here. You get this exact transfer, right? We'll give you a black shirt. So if you want to make this exact look, so you can be like, hey, this is the quality of what we have. So somebody could touch and feel the ink. Oh man, this is great, right? And that Port & Company shirt that we're going to ship to you too is actually really nice as well. So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out here today. Take advantage of this $25 marketing kit special. I don't know how long it's going to last. I could only imagine that it is ending tonight. Usually when we do any show specials, they are just mirroring the show specials of what we do at real trade shows for our virtual events right here. But I want to make sure that if you're serious about taking your business to the next level, which if you showed up and hung out for almost 2 hours with me, I'm thinking you are serious about taking your business to the next level for, a very, very minimal cost. If you convert just one order, if this kit helps you sell one custom order, it's paid for itself. And now you could use this kit in perpetuity till the end of time, essentially to help you acquire more orders. So go out there, do it. Do it. Jason says Dave is not goof-proof. I am not goof-proof. It is $25 with $15 shipping is what Scott asked on that. So yes, yeah, $25, $15 shipping. If I did say free shipping, I am very sorry. It is $15 shipping. It comes in a gigantic box. It's this size box that it comes in. That's all the stuff that you get, right? So we got to fit this book in here. We want those transfers to arrive undamaged so that you could press them and they look absolutely phenomenal. So shipping a box of this size, a pizza box, you could put a pizza in here, right? But it does, there's no markup on shipping that, right? That's a huge heavy box that's going to arrive to you full of marketing potential that's taken your business to the next level. But before we sign off, I do want to tell you guys 100%, I am in your corner. Anything I could do to help your business grow, feel free to reach out to us here at Transfer Express. The Transfer Express YouTube page, if you're not already subscribed, I answer 99% of the comments that are made there. So if you're watching a replay or if you have a question at 2 o'clock in the morning and somebody answers you on the Transfer Express YouTube page, it's me. It's me. Usually it's late at night. I'm scrolling through YouTube and I'll answer any comments as they come in there. I'm always happy to help. I want to see your business thrive and grow and succeed, regardless if you're running your own brand, regardless if you're a custom decorator, you're just getting started, or you've been that side hustle for 10 years and you're like, this is the year. 2025 is our year. I believe in you and I want to see you back here 1 year from today's date. And I want to hear about your successes. I want to hear about your challenges, and I want to help you take that next step to your business. But Yes, and we made it under 2 hours, just an hour and 50 minutes. But we had so much to get through. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Get that special on the marketing kit. If you are on the fence about picking one up, I promise you will not regret it. We have a great video on the YouTube channel that kind of teaches you how to use it in depth, right? How you could use it when you sit down with a customer, even if you're just selling virtually, using all of those digital assets that I could. I'll actually show you that real quick, just with the digital assets. If we have time, we don't have time. We don't have time, but there is digital assets, those videos, the idea book in PDF format that you could email to a customer. That there's so much that you could do, that we are adding new stuff into that digital kit as well. So we want you to be successful. And Scott, yeah, thank you. If you could learn one thing that you could take as an actionable to your business that makes a positive impact, I did my mission, and that is why I wake up and drive into the office every day, is for decorators, creatives, passionate entrepreneurs just like you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And until next time, happy pressing. We'll see you guys. Have great success. Happy holidays. And yeah, 2025, let's crush it. All right. We're here for you.